Okay, so it seems like there's been a pretty crazy situation going on with a VTuber called Bibbly Darling. Now, obviously, it seems like they're going to TwitchCon soon, but before they go to TwitchCon, they were making a pretty big statement about their ex-manager, which I believe it to be. Now, obviously, they say they say, I'm not staying silent about this. We're not letting you walk around TwitchCon pretending like you did nothing wrong. Oh, and we're still waiting for your responses, Shinobazu and at is it Amelia or Amelisa TV? Again, obviously, yeah, both of those people that they are calling out there, and this is the little video that they had to go with it.
My ex-manager is attending TwitchCon along with his girlfriend. If you don't know, he harassed his previous talents, doxed them, locked them out of their accounts, and verbally threatened them when they wanted to leave. He also victim blamed the girls that got drugged from last year's TwitchCon party that he hosted. If you're interested in reading more, I've linked the document we wrote. So, if you're going to TwitchCon, please be careful about who you're meeting up with. For your safety and for the safety of the previous talents that are attending, like myself, do not invite him to anything or attend anything that he is involved with. Frankly, I am not comfortable being around the man who gaslit, threatened, and stole accounts from me. We do know that he is attending one of the parties outside of TwitchCon, but I will not be naming which one for privacy purposes. Out of caution for your safety as a streamer and a person, once again I ask that you be mindful. And with all that in consideration, please have a great time at TwitchCon.
So yeah, obviously that is the video that she put out there, essentially saying that, you know, this is very TwitchCon heavy. This isn't just like some random call out. She's obviously focusing on TwitchCon and exactly what happened at TwitchCon last year, saying that apparently some people got drugged and that he wouldn't really take responsibility for it, even though it's his party, right? And obviously that is terrible. A lot of the stuff that she said here is pretty shocking and pretty terrible, and it seems like she's been getting quite a bit of support behind a lot of this kind of stuff. And I do think it is a little bit weird, obviously, that she decided to keep the party like hidden and not named, because obviously she says to avoid him at parties due to this fact, because again, obviously I do understand why a lot of people would want to avoid him if a situation like this has happened previously, because there has been a big problem at TwitchCon with the safety and stuff over there, including obviously people getting spiked. You know, there was actually a video that came out a couple of weeks ago from someone called, you guys probably know, Keemstar. Obviously he was a big OG in the kind of space. Obviously he's not exactly the best person, but that's regardless. But yeah, he attended TwitchCon a while ago, and he had a friend who used to go around drinking people's drinks, like taking it from them and drinking it, and as a joke. Obviously it was a bit of a dumb joke, but again, they would do that at TwitchCon, right? And they eventually ended up in the hospital because they drank like multiple like different like roofies and stuff, which ended up, you know, obviously drugging him. And obviously those were meant for the people that were originally holding the drink, you know. And just to mention, he wasn't taking it from men, he was taking it from women, which obviously again obviously makes the situation a little bit worse and shows you the problems that a lot of people have still over at TwitchCon. Now, obviously, that was years ago, but it seems like it's still happening now with this case at this person's party. Now, this is the person that they were talking about, Shinobazu. They haven't actually responded to anything as far as I've seen, at least recently. They've been talking about like the Twitch viewership situation, and that's about it. And the same goes for Amelisa. Again, nothing really coming out from that, but they do actually drop a Google Doc alongside of this. Now, this is a very, very long Google Doc, so obviously I'm going to leave the link down in the description if you guys want to go and read that. Again, it's like pages and pages long. It's like, what, probably like 200 pages at like minimum. Not even minimum. Yeah, minimum at maximum. I don't even know. But again, there are so many different kind of bits of evidence and stuff behind this, but essentially they do have a bit of a summary here saying this document is being released to showcase the manipulation, control, breach of contract, and improper work relationships performed by VTuber talent manager Shinobazu Ushino and Flask GG. I say in this document, you will read the experiences of 5 prior talents who refused to stay silent regarding his treatment towards them. They say the purpose of this document is to inform others about his volatile behavior and serves an assertion for him to return the IP of the accounts that he is holding hostage from his previous talent, Bibbly Darling. Now, again, I don't know if they still have the account or if, you know, they've got it back yet, but if they are still holding the account, then that is pretty terrible. And they say a summarization of the actions taken against the previous talent. They say locking and or deleting accounts belonging to talent as punishments. Now, first of all, that's already terrible, you know. As punishments is crazy. You know, you're their VTube manager. You're not their dad. You're not their mum. You know, it's not exactly one of these things where you have to punish them. I don't even know why you'd be punishing someone. So again, absolutely crazy, and they should not have that kind of control over your own account, right? And they say verbal abuse, gaslighting, sharing talent's private info with others, which again, yeah, obviously terrible. They say withholding projects, using talents to promote his partner, threatening blacklisting, using AI against talent's will, using talent's mental health against them, not fulfilling contractual obligations, pitting talents against each other, and claiming 50% ownership of talent's events/projects. This document does not condone the harassment against any mentioned parties. So yeah, obviously it is pretty terrible. Now they do have a lot of the receipts here, exactly of like videos and stuff of pulling me from work to be upset that I wasn't sharing his romantic partner's tweets. Again, obviously there's a lot of evidence which you guys can go through in your own time. Again, as I said, it will be a like 3-hour long video if I was to go through all of this. But again, it is pretty bad. And yeah, there is a lot kind of in it, and a lot kind of mentioned from multiple people, it looks like, as well. Like this is Bibbly's part, the one who's in the video, right? But these are all kind of what do you call it, like bits from other people as well who have been affected by Shinobazu. So it's not just Bibbly, it's also other people too. Now obviously a lot of people have been commenting on this over on Twitter, saying the at not working, but here are the accounts. They say yep, it's because they saw this post and untagged themselves, which yeah, is pretty interesting. You know, you can see here that yeah, they have been active on Twitter, so they've clearly seen the post but decided not to respond to it, which is pretty interesting. Again, if they were innocent, I would obviously, you know, make a post and, you know, make yourself known that there is something going on. But again, they're choosing to ignore it, which makes me think that there is something still going on. I don't exactly know what, but again, yeah, it would be something that I would be jumping at to address, you know. So notifying everyone that he's attending, but not to which party defeats the purpose of this PSA, as 5 people came forwards with the stories about Blub party last year. That party and its hosts are not your employer, so legally they can't retaliate even if they wanted to. Said, well, he will be at the convention, not just the parties. I also plan on attending this party, and don't want the host to believe that I'm upset with them for not denying him entry, and I'm retaliating by slandering them. I'm more than happy to tell anyone which party it is in DMs. So I guess at least they are able to tell in DMs, but I do think at the same time it should be known. And I also do think it's a little bit odd that obviously they also plan on attending the party. If, you know, he was a huge threat to a lot of people, surely you would try to avoid attending any kind of party with him at. But it seems like they are still going to that party, which I think is pretty interesting to me, at least. But again, obviously, they probably have their own reasons for wanting to go. Maybe they even just want to check and see if people are okay there. It's group privacy. He could have been involved in the drugging, so people would know what party he'd be at, so they can be cautious. Says, I'm more than happy to inform people about the party in DMs if they ask. Said, so is it your duty to say which party he's going to if you want more people to avoid him and not possibly get drugged? I felt it was way more important. I said, I did have a conversation with the people hosting the party, and they refused to take action unless there was a actual legal cause, like a restraining order, etc. I did not name the party publicly because I did not want the host to think I'm retaliating because they denied action. So what it seems like here is that obviously she's attending the party, and she doesn't want to get kicked out of the party for obviously mentioning who they are. Which I think is pretty interesting, because I think if you're going to tell people not to attend parties and stuff, if this guy is going there, like, again, you know, both could be true at the same time, right? I feel like it's a little bit odd to not tell people which party he's going to, while also telling people to avoid the parties he's going to, which, again, I think that is pretty crazy to me. You know, people saying the biggest support to all delays is affected. I wasn't harmed as much, in my opinion. But this is still the guy that didn't return 1,000 in merch I paid for, as well as took half of my subathon money last year. He never did enough work to justify his prices. So yeah, I have seen a couple of other like quote retweets and different things coming out as well, talking about this, which I think is pretty interesting. He was saying, don't be a weirdo. If you've been up my abuser's ass, don't come to me or my girls. and now because a new tweet went viral to cry that you didn't know. When I know you knew the whole time. Stick to your choices. Cry to someone else. I'm not the one. Which again, I'm not sure what kind of affiliation they have with this person. But again, obviously, yeah, it seems like they are friends. There we go. Yeah, it seems like they are friends with Bibbly. So again, they are supporting them there. Then it's crazy that this guy is still working with other VTubers and very much have a platform, because he already screwed up so many times with VTubers before, and he's had multiple Google Docs made on him with his name, which, yeah, I think is pretty interesting. Again, from what I've seen, this isn't the first time that they've had something made on them, or someone has come out with some kind of allegations and things, which I think is pretty insane. That, you know, obviously no one has kind of recognized this. They say these things are very real. Please be careful about private meetups, which is 100% true, especially to anybody at TwitchCon, you know, not just like involving this guy, not involving this party even, just anywhere at TwitchCon and these kind of events. You got to be careful, because again, people do like to do that kind of stuff. I feel like everyone at this point should knows this, to be careful is like a given fact. But a lot of people who are telling us to avoid, and I feel like by the time we even get to TwitchCon, I'm going to be avoiding the majority of them. And yeah, obviously, I think that's a big reason as to why a lot of people aren't going to TwitchCon at the moment, because stuff like this happens, you know, drugging and everything like that, and it can't be controlled by Twitch, really. I mean, obviously, the ones at the TwitchCon event itself can be controlled, and any kind of instance there can be controlled through security and things like that. But obviously, it's the offshoot parties that happen, because many companies and many people throw parties around LA and stuff like that while TwitchCon is going on, which obviously are not regulated by Twitch at all or anything like that. So then that's how you end up with situations like this. And obviously, yeah, some people you know, calling it out here. They say, I don't know if any of my moves are going to TwitchCon, but just in case, here you go, stay safe. And yeah, I think the overall thing is just to stay safe at the moment. People saying TwitchCon is optional, and I honestly recommend anyone to just not go, which, yeah, 100% is true. You know, I think, you know, if I had the option, well, to be fair, I did have the option of going to TwitchCon, but I didn't really want to, because I think the event itself isn't exactly the most fun. And at the same time, you also have situations like this going on. It's just like, why would I even want to go? You know, you remember the whole situation with like kick streamers, or this one kick streamer, sorry, that went around like terrorizing people. Again, I think it is pretty insane. And so I think that obviously I can understand why a lot of people don't want to even go this year, because I feel like I've seen so many posts of people saying like they're not going and everything like that. So I think that might be more common going forwards. But yeah, that's essentially everything there is to do with this situation. As I said, I'll leave the link to the Google Doc in the description, because again, it's a very long one. I didn't want to bore you all with like a 3-hour video of me reading through it all, because again, that would be pretty insane. But there is a lot of receipts. There is a lot of evidence and stuff provided. And obviously, it seems like this, again, isn't the first time that this has happened. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.